Okay then, back to Unity Hub. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to move an object in code and just a little bit more with creating projects. So from the last video I hadn't had this version installed, but now I do. So I'm just going to show you that we can upgrade our project. So the project that we made last time, tutorial project, we're now going to change the version to our newest version, so 2020.3. And we're going to click it and it's going to ask us, do you want to upgrade your project to a newer? Yes, we do. It will do the same thing if you wanted to downgrade your Unity project, but that will ruin the project. It just makes everything complicated. Don't do that. So we're just going to wait for this to load and then we'll get started. But yeah, so today we're going through making a game object move in a direction. So you could imagine you would put this code in a bullet. So then once created in a scene, it would just travel in a direction continuously. And that's all it would need for a bullet, just moving in a direction. Man, that took a while. Don't recommend upgrading your Unity project a whole year whilst recording a video. You can see the difference now though. Big updates. Looks way nicer. They've added a dark theme. I love it. Okay, so as you can see though, it's just the upgraded version of what we were just using, but essentially it's exactly the same. Very cool. Okay, so in this video we're looking at changing a object's position via code. So last video we made a script called gun. I will delete this and show you how to do that again, just in case, I don't know, maybe you watched my last video a week ago and now you want to see it again. One thing to note real quick is help you out a lot if you go edit preferences, external tools, and then up here with the external script editor you want to choose Visual Studio and then the year most recent. So for me it's still 2019. That's going to give you hints and tips as you code, which will be hyper useful. So now we've done that, you can just close it, that's fine. We're going to right click in our project and we're going to create a new C# script, and we're actually going to call our script a bullet because I've realized that we're not making a gun, we're making a bullet that is going to go in a direction. So we've created the script and we're going to delete everything in our scene again, apart from the main camera and the directional light. And we're just going to also create a capsule because it looks like a bullet, and we're going to call it bullet. Let's go to it. So double click on the bullet and it takes you straight in, nice and close. We're actually going to reset the position to 0, 0, 0. So then it's at 0, 0, 0 when we create the prefab, which I will explain in a second as well. And I also would quite like to rotate it so then it's facing one of the axes. So up at the top here we've got, currently we're on the move tool, as you can see we're changing X, Y and Z. Just going to press Ctrl Z to get it back on 0, 0, 0. We've got the rotate tool. So this is what I wanted. I want to rotate my object like this. Usually I just use this to know which axis I actually want to change for the game object, so then I can change the value directly in the inspector, so then I don't get 0.045, I just want 90 point nothing. So then it's exactly rotated the way I want it to. So now we have our bullet. I'm actually going to put my script on already because this is going to update as we go. So just to show you all the ways that you can drag a script in, click and drag your script and you can drag it into the bullet, and you can see we've now got the script dragged in. That's through the hierarchy. We could also click and drag straight into the scene. Now you can see we've got another bullet script, and we can even click and drag it all the way over into the inspector itself. You can see we've got 3 now. We don't want those, so I'm going to right click, remove component. So I'm done with rotating. I've got the script in. The script is going to update automatically. I'm going to double click on that script bullet and it's going to load up my Visual Studio. Sure, you can have access. Don't you worry. Okay, so now we're in Visual Studio. If you haven't seen it before, this is what it looks like. We've got our code in the middle. This is our file system here, so we can click the little arrow drop downs. You can see in Unity we have the assets folder and we've put our bullet script in it. So if we had multiple scripts, you could find them in your file structure and swap between them. You can see at the top we are talking to the bullet script because we're up in here. So quick things to note is that lines like this with 2 comment lines are commented out lines. So these do not exist as code. They don't really count. They don't need a semicolon at the end or anything like that. They're just non-existent code. just to help structure and leave any comments for any coders to understand what's going on. We've also got our using things up here, so this is just because it's using Unity stuff, so we're just going to say we're using Unity. Our class, we made the class script class bullet, but I wouldn't worry about any of that for today's lesson. The one thing that we do want to understand is that we've got a void start and a void update, which are two function types. These are built-in Unity function types, and as the comment correctly states, a start function is called before the first frame update. So essentially, when you hit the run button on your Unity project, if a game object with the script is in the scene when you hit play, this code will run straight away and will happen. So you could imagine if I wanted to change the position of the bullet and I put it in the start function, it would only happen once when we hit play. Whereas the update function is updated once per frame. So if it's happening once per frame, it's happening all the time, which is exactly what I want when I'm moving a bullet forwards in a direction. So we're going to write our code here, and in fact, because I don't need the start function, I'm just going to delete it. You see here, because I've made a change, it's now yellow, orange kind of color on the side. So we can Control S for save, which means that's now updated in Unity as well. So with update, it's a function. So what it has is it has encapsulated code beneath it between these two brackets. So all of your code needs to be in between the two brackets. So you could put some enters in here to make some room if you wanted to, just so then you knew what was in the update function. Then you can do some stuff. So some stuff isn't actual code, so it's going to give us errors. So we are going to make this bullet move forwards. So we're going to talk to its transform component. So hopefully you remember in Unity, we had the transform of a game object, which is a transform component, which holds a position, rotation, and scale. So here we could talk to, by pressing dot, we access those things. So we could talk to the position. You can see there, position. We could also talk to the rotation, there you go. Or we could talk to the scale. Of course, it's local scale, not global scale, because those are different. But you don't need to know about that yet. So we're going to talk to the position because we want it to move forward. And I'm actually going to plus equals because I want to add to its position every time. I'm going to add to it a new vector3. That is because I want to change its z value, so I need access to all three of its x, y, and z components. And you can see if we hover over the position, it tells us a little hint that the transform position is actually a type of vector3. So we can add a new vector3 to this vector3 to increase its position. Semicolon at the end of the line, never forget that. So we don't want to change its x, nor its y, but we do want to change its z. So I'm just going to, I'll write the whole line and then I'll explain what I'm doing. So I want to move it 10 every frame, but because the update function is called once per frame, if my PC slows down to 30 frames 1 second and then down to 10 another and then up to 60 another, it's going to be all over the place. So effectively time.delta time just intervals seconds from the last frame to the current one, so it just makes it all smooth and nice. So because we're moving over time, we just want time.delta in there. But now this should work. We've got our position, and we're adding to it every frame a new vector 3, which is 0 in the x, 0 in the y, and 10 times time.delta time in the z. We've pressed Control Save, so this is all green. So we can go zoom that down. It's going to reload our script just because it needs to work out what we've done. We make sure that our bullet is still in here. If you directly click on the script, you can see over here the code, so you know that it has been updated in Unity. If it hasn't been updated, you can right click in the project and you can refresh or re-import, and then that will be updated for you. Another thing that I'm going to do quickly is just check that we can see the bullet. So we can see the bullet in game by the camera. So we're just going to hit play. And voila. Bang. We shot someone. Huzzah. That's excellent. We can stop, we can play again. Does the same thing. Awesome. Congratulations. If you followed along, you have now made a bullet and it moves forward. Actually, we can show it in the inspector as well, how it's increasing the Z value all the time. So we talk to the transform, and then we put a dot, so then we could talk to the position, and then we increased the Z value. Which is very cool. Just to show you as well, we could change this to dot scale. Let's do local scale, and yeah, let's increase the. Let's increase every value. So I'm just going to highlight all of that, and I want it to increase in. Whoops-a-daisy. There we go. Increase in every position to increase the local scale. So if we play this now, whoa! Let's pause it. Let's. Oh, whoops! Did want the scene. Let's zoom out. Where is? Oh man. Okay, we've now got a huge bullet. We could actually continue playing, pop back into scene. You can see it's just expanding in every direction, which is cool. So for now, we're just going to actually let's just Control Z. Let's get it all back to increasing the position. So that's our bullet. So just tidy things up. I'll just get rid of those lines. You can see all of our code is encapsulated within the two brackets here and here. If we wanted to add more code, you put it on lines below. Let's say if we wanted to do multiple different things, let's say we wanted to increase the local scale on the X value, and we wanted this Z to not change. Let's add a comment, so 2 slashes, and then move forward. Okay. Scale. Oh, I can't spell. Scale up in x-axis. Just so we know. Just so we know. Makes it easier to read, doesn't it? Ooh. Fantastic. Moving away and increasing scale. And we can see we're increasing the x-axis scale, and we're moving it further away from us on the Z value. Very cool. Thank you very much for the lesson. I'm going to leave it so then the bullet is only moving away from us for next lesson, where we are going to create this bullet. So then when it's created, it shoots away from us.